Listen up. Prices are climbing fast, and you're about to pay for it literally. If you don't act now, you could find yourself staring at empty shelves or paying double for things you need to survive. Trust me, this is not the time to sit back and hope for the best. Today I'm breaking down 8 grocery staples you need to grab immediately before inflation drives their prices through the roof. These aren't just nice-to-have items, these are essentials, and without them, your pantry is in trouble. Pay special attention to the first one, because it's absolutely crucial. Missing out on this could seriously set you back. Picture this: costs keep heading up, and you're forced to choose between paying more for basics or not having them at all. Do you really want to face that? No, none of us do. By acting now, you'll avoid the chaos, save money, and protect your family's future. Don't wait. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with someone who needs a wake-up call. We've got serious ground to cover, so stay with me until the end. Got it. Good. Now, let's get into it. All right, we're kicking off this list with eggs, and believe me, they deserve the top spot. Eggs might look like a basic, everyday item, but their impact on your kitchen and your wallet is massive. If you're not paying attention to what's happening with the price of eggs, you're setting yourself up for a nasty surprise. Now, here's the deal. Egg prices have been on a wild ride over the past year. Earlier this year, they shot up by 8.4%. Things have settled down a bit since then, but don't get too comfortable. Prices are still 17% lower than last year's outrageous peak, which was caused by a devastating avian flu outbreak that wiped out millions of birds. Sound familiar? It should, because these outbreaks don't just disappear. Experts are already forecasting a possible 4.7% increase in egg prices by the end of the year. And that's assuming we don't get hit with another supply chain disaster. If you think this is just fear-mongering, think again. Remember walking into stores last year and seeing either sky-high prices or zero eggs on the shelves? That wasn't a one-time thing. Rising feed costs are already putting pressure on farmers, and bird flu can strike anytime, cutting supply and creating chaos overnight. Now, why does this matter so much? Because eggs aren't just for breakfast. They're the backbone of your kitchen. You need them for baking, cooking, and countless dishes. Cakes, cookies, pasta, meatloaf, sauces, casseroles, the list goes on. Whether you're whipping up an omelet or preparing a festive dinner, eggs are everywhere. Imagine trying to replace them in your everyday meals. It's not just inconvenient, it's expensive and frustrating. Here's the cold, hard truth. If you wait and do nothing, you're either going to pay double for eggs or be left hunting for alternatives that don't quite cut it. And when you've got a family to feed or a tight budget to stick to, that's not an option anyone wants to face. But don't worry, I've got a plan for you. First, start buying eggs in bulk now, while prices are still manageable. Yes, eggs have a shelf life, but here's a hack. Crack them into a freezer-safe container, lightly beat them, and freeze them. They'll last up to a year, an entire year of egg security. And if you're feeling adventurous, powdered eggs or liquid egg substitutes are also great options that can stay good for even longer. This isn't just about saving a couple of bucks. It's about being smart and proactive. You don't want to be the person paying double for a carton of eggs or worse, staring at empty shelves because everyone else got there first. Now's the time to act. Eggs are a necessity, not a luxury. Stock up, freeze them, or explore alternatives. When the prices spike, and believe me, you'll be glad you listened. Don't wait until it's too late to keep your kitchen running smoothly. Take action now and thank yourself later when your budget and your meals are intact. 2 cereal and bakery products. Here's the hard truth: cereal and bakery products are on the rise, and if you're not paying attention, your budget is about to take a hit. These aren't just breakfast items, they're the backbone of millions of households. Bread for sandwiches, cereal for breakfast, muffins and baked goods for snacks, they're staples. When their prices go up, it's not just annoying, it's expensive. The USDA is warning us that the cost of cereal and bakery products is set to increase by around 1.3%. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but don't fall for that trap. Think about how often you're buying these items every week, right? That 1.3% on every bag of bagels, every box of cereal, every loaf of sandwich bread, that adds up fast. Why is this happening? It's simple. Wheat and other grains, the key ingredients in these products, are getting pricier. Global grain supplies are under attack from every corner: unpredictable weather ruining crops, droughts burning through farmland, geopolitical nonsense disrupting exports, and surging demand because guess what? Everyone needs grain. When farmers and manufacturers pay more for raw materials, they don't eat those costs. they pass them straight to you. But wait, there's another slice of the problem. Transportation and packaging costs are also climbing thanks to rising fuel prices. Even if we could snap our fingers and fix global grain supplies, it wouldn't matter much. Getting that cereal box or loaf of bread from the factory to the store, it costs more, and that increase is showing up in your receipts. Now, picture this. You roll up to the grocery store next week and see your favorite cereal jumped $1 or $2 in price. Or maybe that bakery loaf you always grab is suddenly priced like a luxury. Imagine feeding your kids or making sandwiches for work lunches and realizing it's starting to cost as much as eating out. This isn't some far-off what-if situation, it's coming fast. But the good news, you can beat it if you're smart. Stock up now while prices are relatively stable. Cereal has a solid shelf life, so grab a few extra boxes and stash them. Bread and other baked goods might not last long on your counter, but guess what? Bread freezes beautifully. Grab an extra loaf or two and stick them in the freezer. They'll hold up just fine until you're ready to use them. This isn't just about saving a couple bucks, it's about keeping your household running smoothly. You don't want to wake up one day and be forced to choose between paying ridiculous prices for basics or figuring out how to make sandwiches without bread. Act now. Buy extra cereal and bakery products, store them properly, and protect yourself from these price hikes. Because trust me, when that box of cereal costs more than your morning coffee, you'll be glad you planned ahead. Don't get caught off guard. It's time to stock up and stay ahead of the game. 3. Poultry. All right, it's time to talk about chicken. Poultry prices might seem steady right now, but don't fall for that false sense of security. The reality is, things are about to change, and probably faster than you think. Experts are already forecasting a price increase of at least 0.5%. Sure, a 0.5% doesn't sound like much, but trust me, this isn't the end of the story. It's the start of something bigger, and you need to be ready. Here's what's really going on. The poultry industry is facing an uphill battle. Between avian flu outbreaks, sky-high feed costs, and ongoing labor shortages, production has taken a hit. And when production drops, prices go up. It's that simple. Add in supply chain issues, and you've got a recipe for higher costs and empty shelves. If you think this is just another one of those things that'll fix itself, think again. Remember the last time chicken prices surged due to avian flu or supply disruptions? People who didn't stock up back then felt the pinch at the checkout lines, and they felt it hard. That same situation could come back around, especially with the festive season right around the corner. Demand for poultry skyrockets during the holidays, and if supply can't keep up, you know what happens next: higher prices and slim pickings in the meat aisle. Inflation isn't helping either. Everything involved in the production of chicken, the grain farmers use to feed the birds, the fuel required to transport them, the packaging has gotten more expensive. Those costs don't magically disappear. They're going to show up right where you don't want them on your grocery bill. Here's another thing to think about. Poultry is the go-to protein for most households. Why? Because it's cheaper than beef or fish, which are already ridiculously overpriced. But this popularity creates a problem. With more and more people opting for chicken over costlier cuts of meat, demand keeps climbing. And when demand goes up, but supply doesn't keep pace, well, you know what happens. You'll either pay more for your chicken breasts or drumsticks, or you'll struggle to find them altogether. Now's the time to be smart. Don't wait for prices to soar before taking action. Start buying chicken now and freezing it. Poultry freezes incredibly well and can last for months, so there's no excuse. Just toss it into freezer bags, label it, and you're good to go. Not only are you locking in today's more affordable prices, but you're also giving yourself peace of mind. You'll have a reliable source of protein no matter what happens to the market. Trust me, this move isn't just about saving a couple of bucks. It's about saving yourself from the stress of scrambling to find affordable options when prices skyrocket. By acting now, you're protecting your budget and avoiding headaches down the road. Don't procrastinate. Buy and freeze your poultry today. You'll thank yourself later when you're pulling out a ready-to-cook chicken dinner without breaking the bank. 4. Water and non-perishable foods. Listen up, water and non-perishables are not just grocery items. They are survival essentials, and if you're not already stocking up, you're making a huge mistake. Here's the deal. We live in a world where natural disasters, unexpected power outages, and supply chain disruptions are becoming the norm. And when something goes wrong, be it a hurricane, flood, or even inflation, water and non-perishables are the first things to fly off the shelves. Don't be one of those people standing in an empty aisle, wondering what went wrong. Water isn't just for drinking. It's critical for cooking hygiene and basic survival. During emergencies, tap water can become unsafe or, worse, non-existent. Think back to the last major storm or power failure that wasn't the time to wish you had more bottles stashed away. According to the CDC, you need at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. But here's the blunt truth: 3 days won't cut it. Aim for at least 2 weeks of water for everyone in your household. If you think that's overkill, try living through a storm season with no running water and see how quickly you change your mind. And water is just the beginning. Non-perishables are your next priority. I'm talking about canned goods, pasta, rice, beans, and dehydrated foods. These are the items that will keep you fed in the middle of a crisis, or when grocery prices reach ridiculous levels. Canned veggies, fruits, proteins like tuna, and even chicken provide essential nutrients and can be eaten straight out of the can if needed. No stove? No problem. These foods don't rely on electricity, refrigeration, or even fancy cooking methods. Just open and eat. But wait, there's more. Staples like peanut butter, oats, and dried fruits are absolute game changers. Peanut butter is packed with protein and doesn't need refrigeration, perfect for emergencies. Dried fruits and nuts? They're shelf-stable, loaded with vitamins, and give you the energy to power through tough times. These are the things you'll thank yourself for buying when the store shelves are empty and you're staring down a price hike or a shortage. Here's a hard truth for you. Prices for these essentials skyrocket during crises. Floods, earthquakes, even inflation, every single one of these puts pressure on supply chains. When demand jumps and supply struggles to keep up, you're left with two choices: pay way more or go without entirely. By stocking up now, you're sidestepping both of those outcomes and making sure your household stays secure, no matter what chaos is happening outside. And don't fool yourself into thinking inflation only means higher prices. It often means empty shelves. Inflation goes hand in hand with panic buying, and the last place you want to be is in a store that's been wiped out by everyone else who waited until the last minute. Avoid the scramble. Start buying bulk water and non-perishables now. Prepping is not paranoia, it's common sense. Get your water. Fill your pantry with canned goods, rice, and every shelf-stable item you can think of. Do it today, not tomorrow. When disaster strikes or prices soar, you'll be sitting comfortably while everyone else panics. You've been warned. Take action now and thank yourself later. 5. Sugar and sweets. All right, folks, here's a sugary truth you need to face. If you don't stock up on sugar and sweets now, you're going to regret it later. The USDA is predicting a whopping 5.8% hike in sugar prices by the end of this year. If baking is your jam or you just can't get through the day without a sweet treat, stop procrastinating. That bag of sugar sitting on the store shelf today, it could cost you double next month or worse, disappear entirely. Why is this happening? The global sugar market is an absolute mess right now. Prices have shot up by more than 55% in just 2 months. Yes, you heard that right, minus 55%. The main culprit? The dreaded El Niño phenomenon. It's wreaking havoc on major sugar-producing regions like India and Thailand, causing extreme weather that's devastating crops. Here's some perspective for you. India, one of the largest sugar producers and consumers in the world, just had its driest August in over a century. I'm not exaggerating, this weather disaster stunted sugarcane crops so badly that the country's production is down by 8%. To make things worse, they're struggling to meet their own demand, which means exporting sugar to the rest of the world is pretty much off the table. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about Thailand. Their harvest is down 15% because of, you guessed it, more bad weather. It doesn't stop there. Sugar isn't just used to make your cakes and cookies so delicious, it's also used in making biofuels like ethanol, which is in crazy high demand. Every ton of sugar that gets diverted to fuel production is a ton that doesn't end up in your grocery store. Add all of this together, and global sugar stockpiles are now sitting at the lowest levels since 2009. Translation? Prices are going up, and availability is going down. Now, think about this. You go to grab your usual bag of sugar only to find the price has climbed so high that it starts to feel like a luxury item. Or worse, there isn't any sugar left on the shelf because everyone else cleaned it out first. Sugar isn't just about sweetening your coffee or making cakes, it's a pantry essential you need for baking, preserving food, and prepping for emergencies. The USDA says this price hike isn't going away anytime soon. Forecasts suggest sugar prices will keep climbing well into 2024. What does that mean for you? It means the time to act is right now. Buy sugar in bulk before everyone starts panic buying and leaves you empty-handed. It's not like sugar spoils. You can store it for years, and when the prices inevitably spike, you won't have to worry about it. Trust me, you don't want to be the person kicking themselves later when sugar becomes stupidly expensive or impossible to find at all. Take action now. Stock up on sugar and sweets while you still can. Your wallet and your baking will thank you. 6. Beef and veal. Let's cut to the chase. Beef and veal are about to hit your wallet, and it's going to hurt. According to the USDA, beef prices are projected to rise by 2.7% in 2024. That might not sound like a big deal at first glance, but when you look at the details, this is far from a random bump. Prices are climbing steadily, and if you're not paying attention, your next grocery bill is going to slap you in the face. What's driving this? For starters, feed costs have gone through the roof. Thanks to supply chain messes and skyrocketing fertilizer prices, feeding cattle has become a wallet-busting ordeal for farmers. Guess who ends up paying for that? You, the consumer. If farmers are spending more to raise cattle, those extra expenses are passed straight down the line to the meat counter at your grocery store. And that's not the only problem. Droughts have been hammering key cattle-producing regions in the U.S., turning grazing lands into dust bowls. Less grass means farmers have to spend even more on feed, pushing production costs even higher. But wait, there's more. Labor shortages in processing facilities are causing massive delays. Fewer workers mean slower production, which means less beef hitting the markets. Combine that with steady or increasing demand, and prices are only going in one direction up. What about international trade? Yep, tariffs and sticky trade policies are messing things up even more, putting pressure on how beef and veal move across borders. All these factors together spell one thing for you: price spikes, and they're coming fast. Now, picture this. It's summer, and you plan a barbecue. You're excited for burgers, steaks, maybe even brisket. But when you get to the store, you're hit with sticker shock. Those juicy steaks you used to toss on the grill without a second thought are now a luxury item. The price of burgers? Through the roof. You might even catch yourself wondering if you should switch to hot dogs just to save a few bucks. Don't be that person. You can avoid this nightmare altogether by acting now. Stock up on beef today. Yes, today. Not next week. Not after you think about it right now. Get those steaks, ground beef, and roasts while prices are still semi-reasonable. Toss them in the freezer and forget about them until the prices go crazy. Most cuts of beef freeze beautifully and can last for months, which gives you time and peace of mind. Think of it as an investment in your future grocery bills. By buying and freezing beef now, you're not just guarding your budget, you're making sure your family continues to have access to a high-quality source of protein. Because trust me, when those prices double or the shelves start looking sparse, you'll be kicking yourself for waiting. Don't say I didn't warn you. Handle it today and thank yourself tomorrow. 7. Fats and oils. All right, here's the deal. Fats and oils are about to cost you a lot more, and you need to act now. The USDA says prices for fats and oils could jump by 4.7%. That might sound like a small uptick, but don't be fooled. This is a big deal, and if you don't prepare for it, your kitchen game is going to take a direct hit. From frying to baking, fats and oils aren't optional, they're essential. You probably use them multiple times a day without even thinking about it. It makes them a staple you can't afford to ignore. Now, why are we looking at a price hike? Simple. Global chaos is messing everything up. Geopolitical tensions in key oil-producing regions are slicing into supply chains. Throw in some unpredictable weather like droughts hammering soybean and palm oil farms, and boom, supplies start drying up while costs rise. Don't forget the sunflower oil crisis. Thanks to ongoing conflicts in Europe, sunflower oil production has taken a massive hit. When one type of oil gets scarce, the demand shifts to others like vegetable, canola, and olive oil. That shift drives up prices across the board. Think this isn't your problem? Think again. Cooking oils and fats are kitchen all-stars. They're in everything. You fry with them, bake with them, drizzle them over salads, and you can't even make most packaged foods without them. Yes, that loaf of bread you love? Fat and oil? Those snacks you munch on? Yep, fats and oils play a role there too. It's not just about convenience, it's about the foundation of your meals. Now imagine you walk into your grocery store and the price of cooking oil has doubled. What's your plan? Are you ready to shell out that extra cash, or are you settling for takeout because cooking has become too expensive? Here's a smarter idea. Stock up now. You can buy most oils in bulk, and as long as you store them properly, cool, dark place, Airtight bottle, they'll last for a long time, months, maybe even years for some varieties. By acting now, you're locking in today's prices and dodging what's coming. Trust me, the ripple effect will hit harder than you think. When the cost of oils goes up, everything that relies on them also gets more expensive. Your baked goods, snacks, pre-made meals, they've all got fat or oil in them. Remember, cereal and bakery prices are already up by 1.3%, and this is just the beginning. Don't sit there twiddling your thumbs while this problem gets worse. Go buy your favorites: olive oil, vegetable oil, butter, even margarine before the price tags make your eyes water. If you wait, you're going to be standing in the aisle wondering how something as basic as cooking fat turned into a luxury item. Don't say you weren't warned. Stock up now, stash it properly, and thank me and yourself later when your kitchen stays functional without bleeding your budget dry. 8 canned goods. Let's be real, canned goods are about to become your best friend, and if you're not stocking up now, you're setting yourself up for some serious regret later. Whether it's canned fruits, veggies, soups, beans, or meats, these pantry heroes are an absolute must-have, especially when grocery prices are climbing faster than you can blink. They last practically forever, and are there for you when fresh produce is either too expensive or straight up missing from store shelves. Here's the thing: when inflation hits, or a natural disaster screws with supply chains, fresh food is the first casualty. Think about it. Those rows of lettuce, tomatoes, and onions? Gone in hours. Meanwhile, canned goods remain a solid backup that can weather the storm, literally. But don't think you've got all the time in the world to start stockpiling. People are already turning to non-perishables because they're affordable, versatile, and easy to store. Every day you wait, prices sneak up a little higher, and shelves get a little emptier. Do yourself a favor. Picture this scenario. You roll into the grocery store next week, and the canned aisle is a desolate wasteland. Cans of beans, soup, and even the weird gray-brown tuna nobody likes? Gone. Why? Because when people panic about rising prices or shortages, they buy in bulk faster than you can say price hike. We've all seen this happen before. Think back to any crisis in recent years, and how stores were cleaned out in days. This isn't fear-mongering, it's reality. Canned goods aren't just a backup, they're a game-changer when times get tough. They're cheap for now, have a ridiculously long shelf life, and pack more nutrition than most people give them credit for. Canned veggies and fruits still deliver vitamins, beans bring protein, and canned meat. Well, it's not glamorous, but it gets the job done. You can mix and match these with pasta, rice, or even just eat them on their own if the power's out. Let's talk about versatility. Stocking up on canned goods now isn't just about saving money, it's about saving yourself from stress when prices skyrocket or shelves are bare. Imagine knowing you've got a stash at home while everyone else is fighting over the last can of creamed corn. It's peace of mind. Plus, buying in bulk is your key to locking in today's prices. Grab what you can, organize them in your pantry by expiration date, and keep them cool and dry. Done right, you'll have a safety net of food ready to go for months, maybe even years. Here's the bottom line. If you don't act now, you're gambling with your food security and your budget. Next time you're in the grocery store, hit up the canned aisle and load that cart. Forget waiting for the inevitable price jumps. By the time everyone's panic buying, you'll be sitting pretty with a pantry full of life-saving cans. Take action today. You'll be patting yourself on the back when you're eating canned chili in peace instead of hunting for overpriced leftovers. The conclusion. The cost of living is rising, and grocery prices are no exception. By acting now, you can protect your household from future financial strain and ensure that your pantry is well stocked for any situation. Whether it's sunflower oil, canned goods, or other essential items, proactive planning and smart purchasing are your best defenses against inflation and supply chain uncertainties. Make these strategic choices today to save yourself stress and money tomorrow. Don't wait until shelves are bare and prices have doubled. Take control now and secure the essentials that will keep your kitchen running smoothly, no matter what comes your way.